Okay, so we're kind of back in this hickory stand. So there's some nicer hickories in here, and I'm trying to be cognizant because, you know, timber is your asset. So you have to cover your assets. So like this hickory tree right there, that's at least a log's worth. Leave it there. I might potentially kill this one and get these really two nice hickories. They're younger. This one will be closer, but you're gonna get probably four logs out of 2 trees. So that's really big. So I'd rather leave some behind. People forget hickories are wonderful wildlife trees. Maybe not super deer oriented, but it's definitely something. I'll walk through here. Now, like this dead tree down there, we'll leave alone. It's plenty far enough away from the fire line. I'm not too worried about it. I might pace it off. It's not a big deal to drop it, but maybe we should. I take that back. But now here we have a nice red oak. I'm going to kill all the hickories on this red oak because we want to encourage more acorn production, but also this is still nicer. This tree's still more valuable than these hickories are down the line, but also you can get them more even acorn production, which will still be more favorable for wildlife over hickory nuts. Now I'm trying to find my spot. Where was I at the other day? This walnut. I didn't see that walnut there. Now I'm tempted to kill those hickories for that walnut. Even though I don't know. I gotta think about that. Oh, here we are. This is what I want to talk about. So here's a few more. Got some shingle oaks, some red oaks. Oh, that's a shingle oak. Or I'm not sure which one that is. Shoot, I gotta double check. That looks more like a red oak, and that one, that might be a black oak. I'm gonna double check myself. That off looks like a red oak. Its leaves are gone. Black oaks are in the bottom of the totem pole, but they're valuable wildlife tree, but they do favor a red oak acorn over a black oak acorn. I'm sure we hacked the other day. So this is an area here I would do some serious dropping. So this white oak here, I'm gonna drop it. You might go, why would you do that white oak? It's all screwed up. I mean, look how foobarred it is. Do have a favor, drop it, have a fresh start. And once you get some of these trees cut back and girdled, you're gonna have way better light in here, and that tree will have another chance. We're not gonna treat the stump. It'll be some browse of the deer, but hopefully if they don't burn, I think I would recommend for timber burns every 5 to 8 years. So they don't burn for another 5 years. That might give this tree some serious chance to catch up. This black walnut is jacked. We're doing them a favor, cut it off flush as well. But there's quite a few trees in here we can just drop, like those hackberries. I was gonna hack all of this, but like these trees all have buds on them. They're all temporary bedding. They might get burned up in the fire, it just depends. But also these trees are a lot smaller. Their canopies are open. You can still get a fire underneath here. I wouldn't want to drop these bigger logs because dropping these bigger trees, I'd rather girdle them and let them resprout. But if you drop them, you're just gonna have a bunch of waste on the forest floor. And it's not gonna burn. It's gonna deter your burn from being successful. The lighter, smaller stuff is a lot easier to work with versus the big stuff. I was in a timber once that it was nothing but elm and ironwood. It was taking over all the understory. The basal area was huge, and we just hack and squirt. We didn't want to drop any because I knew we were gonna drop so much we would deter the fire. But in a situation like this, you have way more mature trees versus smaller trees. We can still make some temporary bedding and get some gain out of that, feed the deer for a little bit. But the key thing is we're gonna get more sunlight down to the forest floor once we get all this burned. Holy smokes, this whole area, it's about 8 acres we're working with, is just gonna be a killer deer spot, especially a south-facing slope. You get these, deer beds down, some burning in here, you're gonna have bedding and browse. It's a win-win for the deer. So enough yakking and get to work. Okay, another good couple hours of running in here. So what we did in the south-facing slope, just draw these crooked white oak and black walnut, but all this hickory. This is all browse right now. This is all deer candy, my friends. So you're gonna have some bedding, you're gonna have some browse, which is really critical this time of year, even though it's a pretty mild winter. Now I went back when I said I left these 4 oaks alone. 2 of them, one's a shingle, and I'm like, just let it go. This red oak here, this is red oak I found out, because I had to be double check. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a red oak. I know my oaks, but man, they were side by side. You're like, wait a minute. You know, it's pretty much at that point, it's releasing it. I don't think it's gonna be very beneficial. Same as black oak, this younger black oak, it's so curled out. I mean, it's not competing, so let's let it go, you know, and we could use some diversity in the stand. So having a diverse mix of whites, reds, and blacks and shingles down the road would be really good. And there's a nice blend of walnuts in this stand, but pretty much all that is all south-facing slope, which would be a really ideal in the winter time. Once they burn this, get this growth back up. And the nice thing is, I don't feel we dropped enough logs to inhibit the burn because there's stuff down there. I mean, probably what we're gonna do, well, it might be a different contractor, I think. They'll probably start here along this trail edge, let that burn. And then probably once it gets so many yards in here, it depends where we're at. We need to speed it up. We might just do and I would like to do this personally, go with this creek ditch, light a flame and let it come up this way, because uphill fires are super intense. And there's a lot of multiflower rows in there, which should be sprayed. But really, I mean, to me personally, I like to light a fire, then spray it, because you're going to top kill it, possibly kill it, but probably just do a top kill and then come back and spray. You go through way less herbicide that way. But that would be very ideal to get that under control. Otherwise, all this work would be for nothing. Turns to a rose disaster. But like these dead trees here, it's the middle of the burn unit. I'm not worried about it. It's spreading. It can just burn for all I care. But no, this is pretty good. This is all deer hotel room. You know, because you look over there, guys, that's wide open. That, I mean, my dad always used an analogy. Would you rather stay at a hotel you had your own individual room, or would you rather stay in a hotel where it was a big open gymnasium and everyone saw you do everything, right? Same thing with deer. They need to feel comfortable. So this is a temporary thing, because their goal is also breeding habitat. And even these open spots that we have not drop trees, when they burn this, they have more sunlight. Man, they're gonna be just awesome nesting breeding habitat for turkeys. Just walk down this way a little bit. But I'm really happy with it. I mean, there's a good stand of oaks. There's still a lot of nice hickory left alone. Hickory is a another crop tree, so I would take it easy on it. Don't go too crazy on hickories. Yeah, I know it depends on different parts of the South. Hickories are kind of a dirty word, you know. So like these three, we just gave it hell. But this was a pretty nice, decent hickory, and it really wasn't conflicting anything else. But I just really wanted to open this stand up, and that's the thing, you know. You'd be a lot more selective when it comes to oaks, but hickory, I mean, they're not as profitable as a walnut or a white or a red oak. So it's very much along the lines of you can be a little more aggressive and not feel like a big loss. But like this tree right there, that's a really nice log, and there's no point in me killing it because that's a nice profitable tree one day. So, and this one next to it is pretty nice and straight. So I thought, just let it go. So it's not inhibiting too much competition. So yeah, that's it's coming along pretty nicely. I'm really happy with it. And yeah, it's just going to be, I'm so excited for this burn. You have no idea. Well, the next job, it's so interesting how this spot changes so much, because down there, if you can see it, there's a lot higher stem count. So I'm probably going to switch over to hack and squirt down there instead, because I don't think I can drop as many trees. They look really tight, and there's a lot of elm and honey locust, and with the mazip here, it's going to be super susceptible. I am curious about over here, though, because this is all really open. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to work out. Tree-wise, it might be just a really simple crop tree release and just move on probably. So anyway, thanks for watching the video, and I'll keep you posted.